Hello, and welcome to your Brainlight. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about something that pretty much all of us grapple with at some point in our lives. Letting go. It might be letting go of a relationship that isn't working, a regret that's been eating at you for years, or maybe just the illusion of control we think we have over our lives. Why is it so hard? What's going on in our brains that makes us cling so tightly, even when we know deep down that holding on is causing us more pain? Think about it like this. Imagine you're holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more sand slips through your fingers, right? Sometimes, that's what our attempts to control things feel like. We grip harder and harder, but the very thing we're trying to keep just disappears. This feeling is completely normal. We are wired to attach. From the moment we're born, we form attachments to our caregivers. These early attachments shape how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we navigate relationships for the rest of our lives. So naturally, letting go of something or someone we're attached to feels like a threat. It feels like we're losing a part of ourselves. It's unsettling because it messes with our sense of security. Consider this example. Let's say you've been working at the same job for 10 years. It might not be your dream job. In fact, you might even dread going in most mornings. But it's familiar. You know the routine, you know your colleagues, and you know exactly what's expected of you. Letting go of that job, even if you know it's not serving you anymore, can feel terrifying. The unknown is scary. What if you can't find another job? What if you're not good enough? What if you're making a huge mistake? These what-ifs can be paralyzing. It's much easier to stick with the familiar discomfort than to face the uncertainty of the unknown. We often weigh the discomfort we know against the potential discomfort we might experience, and then we stay put. Our brains prefer the devil they know to the devil they don't. Another reason letting go is so hard is that we often equate it with failure. Think about a relationship that ended. Even if it was clear to everyone involved that it wasn't working, there can still be a lingering feeling of "I failed." We tend to believe that if we had just done things differently, tried harder, been better somehow, we could have made it work. But the truth is, some things just aren't meant to be. Sometimes letting go is the bravest thing you can do. It's acknowledging that you've done everything you can and that it's time to move on. It's important to acknowledge that sometimes endings are not reflective of our failure, but rather of necessary change. Now let's talk about regrets. We all have them. Big ones, small ones, silly ones. Regrets are like little hooks in our minds. They snag on our thoughts and keep us stuck in the past. We replay scenarios over and over, thinking about what we could have, should have, would have done differently. If only I had taken that job offer. If only I hadn't said those words. If only I had tried harder. These if-onlys can keep us trapped in a cycle of self-blame and negativity. But here's the thing about regrets. They're rooted in the past. The past is done. It's over. There's nothing we can do to change it. The only thing we can control is our present and our future. The key is to learn from our regrets, not to dwell on them. To see them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. For instance, maybe you regret not pursuing a particular career path when you were younger. Instead of dwelling on that regret, ask yourself what you can do now to explore that interest. Maybe you can take a class, volunteer in that field, or simply read books and learn more about it. It's never too late to pursue your passions, even if it's in a different way than you originally imagined. And then there's the illusion of control. We like to think we're in control of our lives. We make plans, set goals, and work hard to achieve them. But life has a funny way of throwing curveballs. Unexpected things happen. Plans fall through. People disappoint us. And when things don't go according to plan, we can feel like we're losing control. This feeling can be incredibly unsettling, especially for those of us who are naturally more inclined to be organized. Think about a couple planning a wedding. They spend months meticulously planning every detail: the venue, the flowers, the food, the music. They want everything to be perfect. But then, on the day of the wedding, it starts to rain. The outdoor ceremony they had envisioned is now impossible. They have to scramble to find an indoor location. They feel like their perfect day is ruined. In situations like this, it's important to remember that you can only control so much. You can't control the weather, you can't control other people's actions, and you can't control everything that happens in your life. The key is to focus on what you can control: your attitude, your reactions, and your choices. You can choose to be upset about the rain and let it ruin your day, or you can choose to embrace the unexpected and make the best of the situation. Maybe the indoor ceremony turns out to be even more intimate and special than you had originally planned. So how do we actually let go? It's easier said than done, right? The first step is awareness. Recognizing that you're holding on too tightly is crucial. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Are you constantly replaying past events in your mind? Are you clinging to relationships that are no longer healthy? Are you trying to control every aspect of your life? If so, it's time to take a step back and examine why. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? What am I trying to control? What am I hoping to achieve by holding on? Once you understand your motivations, you can begin to address them. This might involve challenging your beliefs about failure, accepting that you can't control everything, or grieving the loss of something you once held dear. Another helpful technique is mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. When you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, take a few deep breaths and focus on your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? This can help you ground yourself in the present moment and break free from the cycle of obsessive thinking. Think of it like hitting the pause button on your racing thoughts. It's also important to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Letting go is hard, and it's okay to struggle. Don't beat yourself up for feeling sad, angry, or confused. Instead, treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend who is going through a difficult time. Remind yourself that you're doing the best you can and that it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes letting go requires professional support. There's no shame in seeking therapy or counseling. A therapist can provide you with a safe space to explore your feelings, challenge your negative thought patterns, and develop coping strategies for dealing with difficult emotions. They can also help you identify any underlying issues that might be contributing to your difficulty letting go, such as attachment issues or unresolved trauma. Finally, focus on the future. Instead of dwelling on the past or trying to control the present, shift your focus to what you want to create in your life. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What steps can you take today to move closer to your vision? When you have a clear sense of purpose and direction, it becomes easier to let go of the things that are holding you back. Letting go is not about forgetting or erasing the past. It's about accepting it, learning from it, and moving forward with wisdom and grace. It's about releasing the grip of fear and embracing the possibility of a brighter future. It's also not about completely detaching from everything or everyone. It's about forming healthy attachments and recognizing when it's time to let go of unhealthy ones. It's about finding a balance between holding on and letting go. It's recognizing that some things are meant to be cherished, while others are meant to be released. Think of it like gardening. A gardener tends to their plants with care, providing them with the water, sunlight, and nutrients they need to thrive. But they also know when to prune away dead or dying branches. Pruning allows the plant to focus its energy on new growth and to flourish. In the same way, Letting go of things that are no longer serving you can create space for new opportunities and experiences to blossom in your life. So as we wrap up today, here are a few practical takeaways and reflection questions for you to consider. First, identify one thing you're currently struggling to let go of. It could be a relationship, a regret, a job, or anything else that's causing you pain or stress. Second, ask yourself, what is the worst-case scenario if I let go of this? What am I truly afraid of? Sometimes simply naming our fears can help to diminish their power. Then brainstorm ways you could cope with those fears. What resources do you have available to you? Who can you turn to for support? Finally, think about what you might gain by letting go. What new opportunities might open up for you? How might your life improve? Visualize yourself living without the burden of this thing you're holding on to. What does that feel like? What does that look like? Letting go is a process, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, and remember that it's okay to ask for help along the way. Thank you for joining me on Your Brain Lied today. I hope this conversation has been helpful and insightful. Remember, you are stronger and more resilient than you think. You have the power to let go of what's holding you back and create a life filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. Until next time, take care of your brain. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.